The standard Turbo S configurator is designed to help the next owner sell your car, not to help you enjoy it. A few weeks ago, Bernie DMD at 992DMD asked me this exact question because he's buying a Turbo S as his forever 911. He can afford anything on the order sheet, and he wants to know what to spec, what to leave out, and what still matters once the honeymoon is over. That question matters because, with the right spec, the Turbo S is the ultimate everyday supercar. It's absurdly fast and still comfortable enough for a commute, easy enough for a road trip, and I've personally seen a Turbo S at my local Whole Foods, so I can confirm this is an acceptable grocery getter. Get the spec wrong and you pay for options that look good on delivery day, but don't change life with the car in any real way. Get it right and you own one of the most complete performance cars ever built. And one boring option on that list will protect your investment more than any performance upgrade. I'll get to that in a minute. So this video is the answer to Bernie's question, ranked by joy per mile, durability, daily use, and the regret you'll feel once the car isn't new anymore. Porsche's configurator is built to show you what the next buyer will pay for. That works if you're selling in 2 years. It doesn't if you're keeping the car for 10. So judge every option 3 ways. First, ask how the car will still feel at 40,000 miles, not just how loud it feels on day 1. Second, ask what you'll actually notice on your commute, and your favorite back road, not what a race car driver needs. Third, think about regret, the option that looks expensive now but costs far more to fix later, or the one you'll miss every morning once the warranty is gone. This reframing matters more now because Porsche changed the game with the 992.2 Turbo S. On the new model, they made the big hardware standard. You get PCCB, the titanium sport exhaust, which is about 6.8 kilograms lighter than the old system, sport chrono, rear axle steering, PASM, and EHPDCC baked into a base price of $272,650. The old debates are finished. If you're shopping for a used 992.1, those options still matter because a prior owner already paid for them, and you need to know which ones are worth paying extra for on the used market. But if you're ordering a new 992.2, Porsche already made the obvious choices, so the remaining options are where your money actually moves the needle. The first non-negotiable is front axle lift, and this is the trap most buyers only understand after they hear the front splitter scrape for the first time. The system raises the nose by roughly 40 millimeters, reaches full height in about 5 seconds, and improves approach angle by roughly 3 degrees. That sounds minor until you realize it's the difference between clearing a steep ramp and paying for a front bumper respray. If you live anywhere with speed bumps, underground garages, or steep driveways, you'll use it constantly. It also changes the suspension conversation. If you want the optional PASM Sport suspension, which lowers the car by 10 millimeters, front axle lift is what makes that choice easy because you get the better stance and slightly sharper feel without living in fear of every driveway and parking ramp. For a forever car, that combination gives you the best balance. The car sits the way it should, responds a bit tighter, and still works like an everyday 911 instead of a garage queen. The second non-negotiable is on the Porsche configurator, but it's not available on the Sport Design package, which we will get to later. You need full front paint protection film applied immediately at delivery. We're talking about the front bumper, the hood, the fenders, the mirrors, and the rocker panels. This isn't a cosmetic detail. On a car that will see highway speeds, stone chips, and road debris for 10 years, PPF is maintenance infrastructure. A full front respray on a Turbo S with proper paint matching and blending can run $5,000 or more, and it still won't fully replace original factory paint. Full front PPF from a quality installer costs roughly $3,000 to $5,000 if you do it immediately when the paint is perfect. Wait 6 months and you'll likely need paint correction first, which adds cost and still doesn't get you back to untouched factory finish. Buyers treat PPF like a detail. It isn't. Ceramic coating works with PPF to make the car easier to wash without scratching the clear coat. On a $270,000 base price car, this isn't a luxury. It's protecting your investment. The rule is simple. Any protection option that cuts stress is worth more than a performance option you'll never use on the street. These options don't make the car faster or louder, but they make ownership sustainable. On a 992 Turbo S, a typical US owner driving around 10,000 to 12,000 miles a year is realistically looking at roughly $2,800 to $4,500 per year. The rest comes from tires, fuel, insurance, and the usual wear items that pile up on a 700-plus horsepower 911. So avoiding cosmetic damage matters more than one more vanity add-on. The high-value tier starts with Burmester. If your Turbo S is a weekend toy for short blasts, skip it because the engine is the soundtrack. But if you're doing highway miles, road trips, or daily traffic, Burmester pays you back every week with better clarity and less listening fatigue than the stock Bose system. Next is the electric slide tilt sunroof in glass, and at $2,120, it's the better forever owner choice than the carbon roof. It gives you an outwards opening glass panel with one-touch electronic slide and tilt operation, plus a wind deflector and an electric sun blind, so you get more light in the cabin when you want it and shade when you don't. Porsche also finishes the roof sections in front of and behind the glass in high gloss black, which gives the roofline a cleaner look without turning the car into a stripped out Spec. For a car you're actually going to keep and use, that extra cabin light and day-to-day usability matter more than the small performance gain of a carbon roof. Then you get to the invisible value protectors. These are the options people call cosmetic because they don't show up on a dyno sheet, but they decide whether the car still looks right to you in year 7. The Sport Design Package is one of the few appearance options that actually earns its price over time. On the Turbo S, the standard Sport Design Package costs $7,330. The high-gloss black version is the same price, and the carbon fiber version jumps to $9,880. All three change the front and rear fascias, enough to give the car the road presence the base setup leaves on the table. And that matters because this is the part of the car you see every time you walk into the garage or catch it in a window. A plain Turbo S nose can look almost too restrained next to a sport design car, while the sport design versions still feel right years later, long after novelty options inside the cabin stop mattering. The wheel trap is different on a Turbo S because Porsche already limits you to the factory 20-inch front and 21-inch rear setup. If you live where it gets cold, the smart spend is the official Porsche winter wheel and tire package, roughly $10,000 to $11,000 because winter tires work below about 45 degrees, shorten cold weather braking, protect your summer set, and let the all-wheel drive system do its job. Finally, the 360-degree surround view camera system is critical on a car this wide and this low with wheels and tires that cost thousands of dollars to replace. Curb rash on a 21-inch Turbo S wheel with a low-profile tire can mean a new wheel, a new tire, and possible suspension inspection if the impact was hard enough. The camera system reduces parking stress and protects your rim investment every time you parallel park, navigate a tight garage, or squeeze into a parking space designed for a compact car. In year 7, you'll have used it thousands of times, and the stress it prevents is worth far more than the sticker price. but not every expensive option earns its keep. Some of them are traps that look compelling in the configurator and then punish you later. First is interior carbon fiber trim. It looks exceptional on delivery day and photographs beautifully in the showroom, which is exactly why salespeople love to spec it. By year 3, it shows surface scratching, UV degradation, and wear patterns around the touch points that make the cabin look older than the rest of the car. On a forever car, anything that ages faster than the mechanicals is a liability, and carbon trim is the textbook example. I want owner input here. If you've lived with a 992 for more than 3 years, tell me in the comments how your interior trim is holding up, especially if you chose carbon. Overdone exclusive manufacturer interiors are another skip. Custom stitching, embossed logos, and personalized scripts can feel exciting at the order desk, but trends move fast and you'll be the one living with them long after that first rush wears off. On a 911, the better move is usually restraint because the design is already timeless, and an understated spec lets the quality of the options speak for itself instead of fighting for attention. A well-judged two-tone can age beautifully. Loud contrast for its own sake usually doesn't. Paint to sample now costs $17,210, and Paint to Sample Plus jumps to $40,990. That's real money, so for a long-term owner, this isn't a fun color decision. It's a commitment. If you go this route, pick a historic Porsche color with a long shelf life, not a trendy shade that could make the car feel dated 5 years from now. The rule is simple. Skip anything that adds work without adding daily joy. Wears out faster than the rest of the car, or starts looking old before the engine and transmission do. Let's put it together. If I were building my Turbo S today, here's the exact spec sheet I'd take to the dealer or use as a filter when I'm shopping the used market. I'll put the Porsche order code for this build in the description. So look it up, tell me what you'd change, modify it yourself, and send your configurator code back in the comments. For chassis and protection, front axle lift is non-negotiable. You need full front PPF applied immediately at delivery before a single mile adds stone chips. Add ceramic coating over the car. These 3 items run roughly $8,000 to $10,000 combined, and they're the cheapest insurance you'll buy on a car at this price level. One front bumper incident without lift can cost more than all 3 combined. For the exterior, the Sport Design package gives the front and rear fascias the road presence the base car lacks. The electric slide tilt sunroof and glass adds light to the cabin, gives you one-touch slide and tilt function, and makes the car easier to live with every day, which matters more than a small weight saving at the roof. My color pick is Gentian Blue Metallic. It was my second choice when I spec'd my own Porsche. I still think it's one of the safest long-term bets because it looks modern without chasing a trend, and 10 years from now, it'll still be a beautiful color. For the interior, I'd spec the two-tone club leather interior in Basalt Black Classic Cognac at $4,640. This is the right kind of two-tone because it's quiet and expensive looking, not loud. You'd get Napa-grade leather, cross-stitching on the upper dashboard and upper door panels, plus more extended leather through the cabin that makes the whole car feel finished every time you get in. Add a heated steering wheel if you live anywhere with temperatures below 50 degrees for part of the year, because you use it every single cold morning and it transforms the winter experience. The Turbo S isn't a GT car, at least not to me, but it still deserves timeless design and understated luxury. This is the kind of cabin you can sit in for years and never get tired of. For technology, Burmester is worth the premium if you do highway miles, or you drive the car daily in traffic where the audio system is your primary entertainment. The 360-degree surround view camera is non-negotiable for parking protection and wheel preservation on a car this wide. Adaptive Cruise and Lane Keep Assist are worth adding if you intend to use the Turbo S as a long-distance GT car, because they reduce fatigue on long runs. For wheels, keep the factory 20-inch front and 21-inch rear setup. If you drive in real winter, add Porsche's winter wheel and tire package so the car can actually stop, turn, and put power down in the cold, without chewing through the summer tires. The real numbers on this build are straightforward. Base MSRP is $270,300. Equipment adds $29,450. Accessories add $11,003. And delivery, processing, and handling adds $2,350, which brings total MSRP to $313,103. That means the equipment and accessories, including the protection items, stack to roughly $40,000 over base. Spread across 10 years, that's about $4,000 per year, which is still easy to justify if these are the options that keep the car easier to live with and worth the money long term. The one thing people forget is front axle lift. It isn't glamorous and it doesn't change lap times, but it protects the front bumper and the factory paint you can't truly replace. You'll care whether the bumper is still original and whether your driveway still doesn't make you flinch. A forever car changes how you buy. You stop chasing flashy options and start paying for the things that protect the car, lower stress, and still make you happy when the odometer is deep into 5 figures. That's the whole point. 10 years from now, the best Turbo S spec won't be the one that looked wild on delivery day. It'll be the one you still want to drive, still want to look at, and still don't regret paying for. Drop your current or planned spec in the comments. I'll go through them and tell you what I'd change. I'm Dave, and this is Porsche Pulse.